Yes, I'm here in the office. I was out and about this morning. I was on a little salt lake. Well, it's now a lake. If you remember, I was out on a little salt plain about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it was beautiful, dry, beautiful pink, very pink. I was going to say ice again. I always do that. Salt crystals, and we got a fantastic rainbow. So the light was absolutely fantastic. This morning I went out the same, but we've had about a month's worth of rain, and I was hoping that we got some water in and around those little salt piles, and we did. We got some water, so that was fantastic. I didn't take a light with me, and as such, I did have a torch, but as such, it started off completely black with me as a disembodied voice in the middle of nowhere. So I just thought I'd do the intro from here and talk through my process, mainly about how I gain focus when it's pitch black. So I can take you through that, and then when it lightens up in camera, I can jump and we can jump into the location. So let me just start by showing you how it looked. This is how it looked when I was out last night, and that's me there, and that's through the camera. So as you can see, it's pitch black, and so to gain focus can be very difficult. So my process is actually quite easy. I'll throw it into shutter priority, show my camera into shutter priority, and then that usually allows me to put the shutter speed anywhere between 30th and 60th. And you can see here, it allows me to see, literally see through the camera, and I can see what's out there. So it's a massive difference between shutter priority. Let it do everything. The ISO, let it do the f-stop. And here's me trying to gain focus. I managed to grab it on the second time. So now I've got focus. It's great. Sometimes I walk out with a light and leave it on something, but those little pillars of salt were a good like 50 meters away. And so it was getting a little difficult for me to do anything with that. So notifications, go away. So this is how I gained my focus with those little salt pillars in the distance. And so from here, we switch it around. I go back to manual. And so when I'm in manual, I can use, which is known as the ISO 6400 trick or technique, and it's where you push your ISO up to 6400, which I'll be doing in a second or so. And when you push it up to 6400, you can use seconds instead of minutes. So I had hoped here to do an 8-minute exposure, and so instead of that, I should be able to do an 8-second exposure. 8 seconds, and then I can check to see if I've blown anything out or whether I need more time. And if 8 seconds works, I'm running it now, then I know I can run an 8-minute exposure straight off the back of it. So I checked this exposure, and it was absolutely perfect. And so because of that, I noticed that that's me talking there. And because of that, I was able then to run an 8-minute exposure. And what I did get was this. Yeah, so what I then did is I then moved closer in on those posts. So I walked up close, and I composed a group of them that were beautifully silhouetted against that twilight sky. But not only was that, you know, really appealing to me, is that I bookended them, or I sorted it so that adjusted that composition so that they were nicely in the middle with a gap on either side. So that meant me walking up and down in the pitch black, sloshing about in my Wellingtons for a little while. But once I'd settled on this little group, loved the composition, leading out into, as I said, into that twilight colour. I then had to decide on shutter speed. Now, as I was walking around this little lake, which is a lake now, there was only about 4 or 5 inches of water, so every step I was just creating ripples absolutely everywhere. So I needed to make sure that I bumped up that my exposure time. So these were taken at around about 30 seconds each. F16, 30 seconds. So there's loads of noises on this, isn't it? Pinging and bonging. So yes, so it was around about 30 seconds that I took this image, and yes, I did think that I might have to exposure blend, but as it was, I was lucky enough I was able to grab this in a single shot. So that was at I will just let you know what that was. So that was so yeah, it was ISO 100 f11. And the first shot was at 6.5 seconds, and I could see a touch of those ripples in there. And then I took a second shot at 30 seconds. So I put on a 3-stop to gain that one. And you know what, I'll put them both up and you tell me which one you prefer, the 6.5 second shot or the 30-second shot. Okay, I don't think you got any of what I've said today because my mics have gone. I've just had to put the second mic on, my spare, because the other one I think has failed. Oh well, you cannot write it, can you? All right, okay, so I'm shooting away from the sun, which is over this side. We might get some colour, and which I'll jump back and I'll take some more images that way. But I've walked out and I quite like this little scene here. Forgive me, you can't half hear those gulls. So what we have is just a little row of 4 or 5 of these. I don't know. The salt, obviously salt builds up, but they look like what's called strombolites. Strombolites are organisms that live in saltish water. They're prehistoric, and there's not many places around Australia, not many places in the world that have them, but Australia have a couple, and I don't know if these are an example of them or not. They do look like them. I'll forgive the noise. I'll put an image up of one of the strombolites I've actually taken. I'll put that up now for you to see. so what are we going to do here? Well, I'm going to see if I need to focus stack this. I'm just focusing on the middle strombolite. That's strombolite, I'm calling it that now. And I'm just going to check if it's all in focus. I think the easiest way to do is just to take it. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't need 60 seconds at all, so I can probably dispense with the 3-stop. We will see if that's advisable. And it looks like we can get about 8 seconds. And I'm just going to pop on a grad just to help bring down that sky. Just slightly like that. Perfect. Okay, so let's give it 8 seconds at f16, and then I'll check and see if I've got them all in focus, and if I haven't, I'll focus on the nearest one, and then we can see from there. What we might do is go cross down and shoot back. Well, we've got this beautiful little stump on its own. Reflection's pretty. I'm just gonna check with our polarizer. I might take 2. I think I don't need full glare. I like that shadow being slightly softened. You see just about there. So I think that's what we're going to take. You know, I might take a couple here, full glare and no glare and middle, and see which I actually prefer. But these are beautiful. So I've took several of this using the polarizer in several different positions, and I'm really pleased with that. And the light's changing so quickly. I think we might be able to get one more in. So let's head back this way and see if we can. See, I do love that. That cloud's lovely. I want to make my way to those couple of stumps there and see if we can pick something up quickly. And I'm looking around everywhere. The colour is just very pretty everywhere I look. But this has suddenly turned into a cloud fest. So you never know what you're going to get. And so it's, that thing about being open and experimenting, don't be fixed on what you're going to shoot. Shoot everything, whatever catches your eye and you think, oh, I like that, take it, just take it. Because you never know what's going to resonate when you get back home. And you never know, you know, your interest will be sparked into a different direction all of a sudden. But the light's nice everywhere, but you can't take everything. But to be honest, right now, I'm just enjoying the spectacle and the colour. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I do like the colour that way. I know the sun's rising, we've got some colour over there happening, but I quite like the way these two just fit in with that shadow, with that cloud. So I'm going to take those. I just like how they fit in the curve. I just see how they fit in with the curve of that cloud, the reflection of it, that is. Nice. And we've got the three of them. We've got the three that sort of work together, bringing your eye in. And that cloud sweeps off to the left as well, so fabulous, beautiful. What a morning. And I'm just going to focus on the last one, pardon me, just in case we need it. But I don't mind if that falls off into softness. It's these two at the front that are really key. Those gulls, those gulls. There we go. Let's see what else. And the sun's rising. I think the sun's going to beat us on this last little shot. I think it's going to beat us. But you know what? You can tell I've thoroughly enjoyed, there's the sun, I've thoroughly enjoyed being out here. So we've got the sun coming up now, so I'm going to sweep through to the other side. There we go. So I've jumped across to the other side. You can see those reflections using the polarizer. I can increase it, but you've got to really watch out for that. You know, the vignette of death. I have seen one well-known photographer who should know better, who claims that that's a great thing to have, especially if you're doing black and white. You know, yeah, he should know better. He who shall remain nameless. Now that's at 20 seconds, so we'll give that a go. That should smooth out those ripples that I keep causing. But that's so pretty, so pretty. And I'll focus stack this. I'll take one here, nearest to me, and then a couple further down. And I think this one will be it for us today. Listen, thank you for joining me here today. How easy is it just to stay in, and then you look out the window and go, missed one, oh, could have been good. Just get out. If it's rubbish, you've got fresh air and you're out and about and getting some exercise, and that's got to be a good thing. That's the minimum you're going to take away, and you never know, you might get that absolutely perfect image, the one that you'll be searching for forever and forever trying to beat. So listen, that's it for me today. Thank you. I'm going to be missing for a couple of weeks. I'm going on holiday, and I haven't got enough videos in the bag to completely fill my card, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks, but I'll be back hopefully with some new content, new places, and so yeah, fingers crossed. But all it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Till next time, see ya.